hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, Josh? How's it going, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for taking the time to do this interview.
My pleasure, man. Always. Thank you.
Well, it's awesome to be able to talk to you. I mean, with the amazing resume that you have in your back catalog, it's amazing to see the direction that you're going in now and being able to see such a very cool idea that you have to be able to come up with something like Her Chariot Awaits, which is coming out near the end of the month on May 22nd through Frontiers Music. I've gotten the chance to be able to check this out over the last week, and I just really love the fact that you're able to show off your technical abilities and write some of the most catchiest songs at the same time and continue to do so in this style.
Well, thank you very much for the kind words, man. I mean, very much appreciated. I had an absolute ball doing Her Chariot Awaits. It was nothing but a good time, you know. I loved doing that genre. It was great to get to do something with a female, vocalist, just something different, you know. That really appealed to me. So, man, it was a pleasure. I'm glad you like it. Thank you very much.
Oh, not a problem. So, with that in mind, how did this all come together?
So I work with my manager now is Michael Kaplan. He's a legend in the industry, and he brought me. That was the bridge to Frontiers, and so Her Chariot Awaits is the first release I'm doing with the label, and I love all the guys there at the label. They're very passionate about music, and so I was totally excited, totally on board, and that's how it came about. So we talked about two projects, and the first one was Her Chariot Awaits, so with a female, fronted vocalist, which I jumped at the idea because I love bands like Hailstorm and Paramore and Flyleaf and In This Moment and Gwen Stefani, No Doubt. It's just great, you know. So for me, it was like I'm in instantly.
Oh yeah, that's so cool, and what an amazing voice that you were able to get a part of this project. I mean, with her back catalog as well. I mean, it was great to be able to see you two join forces in this band.
Yeah, Eileen was great. I mean, we were looking at different vocalists, and then the label sent me over Eileen, and of course she's from a totally different background. So a symphonic metal band from overseas in Europe, and very different, majestic kind of approach she had with that band, and it was so not what I was envisioning in Her Chariot Awaits. So she was amazing. What a champ she was to be able to take on the task to, do more of what the American female, fronted rock bands are doing here. And she did a great job at it. It definitely wasn't in her wheelhouse for sure. So it took some time to get to learning it, but she did an incredible job. And I got to say, I mean, I would send her all the songs. I would sing them and then send them to her. And some sound ridiculous because I had to sing full set up to sing like high like a woman would. So, but that was kind of funny. But she got it. It took a little time, but man, she really she did an incredible job. So it was great to see her transformation behind the scenes, so to say.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, being very familiar with her past work in Serenia, I mean, I never would have imagined that she would take on something like this, but I'm so glad that she did too, being able to show off that different style of range, being able to work with someone like you with, such an amazing background on being able to write such catchy songs and some of the most mind-blowing guitar solos I'm familiar with. I mean, it's such a great combination altogether, and I can't wait for more people to be able to check out the full album because it's just chock full of songs from start to finish like that.
Thank you, man. I mean, yeah, it was, like I said, I always wanted to do something with a female rock voice, and she did an incredible job, and it was great to pull her into this different genre that we have here, in America, that style, so to say. It was great. I got to write a whole batch of just catchy hard rock songs, which I love that genre anyway. So it was just it was a no-brainer, man. I'm glad you like it. It is definitely 11 songs of just fun, catchy hard rock material, that you could sing along to and groove to, and that was the idea. I just wanted to write an album that people just enjoyed. You get in the car and hang out or wherever you are, and you can rock to it and you can sing along to the parts, and that was the idea. So hopefully people enjoy it.
Oh yeah, and of course I'm enjoying it so much, and being able to hear you take on this style. I mean, when this was all starting to come together and you started writing the songs, I mean, what was that like for you to be able to like finally get the ball rolling and starting to write in this style?
It was business as usual for me. You know, whenever I sit down to write an album, I'll do all the guitars and bass and drums and do all the pre-production and then sing whatever parts I have written. But the fun thing about this was looking at it through it as a female would. You know, the lyrics had to be completely, well, what would a girl say? You know, so there are songs that I would have my girlfriend, you know, helping me out, like where I would say, what would you say here? You know, and we would talk like about certain parts. And then there are certain songs that are that I did with my girlfriend, like Dead and Gone. That's actually a song about her father, her biological father. So that's a true story. And so that went on throughout the whole album of me just having to write with a girl in mind and a girl saying this, which is a lot different, you know, than what I did. So that was a lot of fun. And again, just, you know, it was business as usual, man. I did my guitar stuff, had a lot of fun, did some really cool solos. And but her Chariot Awaits is more of a song oriented. You know, the song is what's most important, and the groove and the vocal hooks. And of course, I got to have some fun and do some really cool spots. You know, so I'm glad you enjoyed the solos as well. Thank you very much, man.
Oh, not a problem, and I'm so glad to see that you made sure to keep that in there as well, too. I mean, not to say that you wouldn't be capable of writing like some really simple chords or solos or anything like that, but I do love the fact that you still show that side of you off, being able to show off that you can write some of the catchiest hooks out there and still be able to show off what you can do on the guitar as well.
Oh, thank you, man. I definitely wanted to maintain that with this. Of course, it's all about the songs and the vocal hooks and the harmonies, the vocal harmonies. But yeah, I still wanted it to have like that hard hit, you know, that I kind of that I do at least, you know, in what people know me from, you know. So I'm glad it came through in that way. You know, it's not all tons of solos everywhere. It's just the one spots, but when they came, I made sure to at least say, "Hey, I'm here," you know.
Oh, very much so. So again, with all that in mind, I mean, being able to work on these songs musically, instrumentally, and lyrically as well, of course, being able to have a great rhythm section is important to be able to do that as well. Like, how did that come together to get the full rhythm section involved?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely important. You know, it's different when I write an album. It's always pre-production drums, and I write everything, and then I send it off to, you know, whoever I'm playing with. In this opportunity, my friend Jeff Ball, who I've known since I'm a kid, who also happens to be Ron Thal Bumblefoot's brother. So those guys they grew up in the same town as me. I've known them since I'm like 14. So I always wanted to play with Jeff. Jeff Ball is an incredible drummer. You'll know him from like the first few Bumblefoot albums, I believe, you know, that he did with his brother Ron.
Oh, totally.
But Jeff is an incredible player, and he's a great guy. So we always spoke about doing stuff together. It was a real easy thing. So I just called him up, and I sent him, you know, all the pre-production tracks. He came down, and like in 2 days, we've done first or second takes. That's how Jeff is that good. He's just like, just bangs the stuff right out. Total pro.
Oh, that is just so cool to see that too. And you know, being able to work with someone that you've known for so long, and being able to do a project like this too. I mean, it's incredible to be able to get someone like Jeff behind the drums on there and having them work like that. I mean, you two working together, it feels so natural hearing that together.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah. I mean, that's the key. Does it sound good? You could have two incredible players together, but if there's something that's just lacking, then it doesn't come across it. But Jeff embraced it, and I think he just fell right into place with all the songs, and I knew he would do a great job, you know. And so, yeah, expectations were high because I knew how great he was, and he totally exceeded them.
Oh, so cool. And again, you know, like being so involved with writing the songs, getting everyone involved, being able to get their parts. Obviously, you're not just known for being able to write the songs, but also making sure that they're going to sound the best they possibly can with being behind the board. I mean, what is that like for you this time around when you're doing something different, but still working on the production side?
Yeah, I mean, I've always, you know, I love being a guitarist, but that's not my full trades. You know, I'm an engineer, and I also write, produce, but I also mix and master everything. So everything I've done, the last 5 Adrenaline Mob albums, I recorded here in my Sonic Stomp studios, and I've engineered them, mixed them, and mastered them, and the same with this album, and pretty much everything else I do. So I learned that early on. You know, it's kind of when you're done doing your guitar tracks, take the guitar hat off. You're not the guitarist anymore. You're the engineer. You know, so you have to look at it a totally different way and take that hat off. And I love doing that. I always have. You know, I've always loved. I love being a recording engineer as much as I do playing guitar. So it's just as much a passion of mine, and you know, you have to learn. You know, have to learn how to balance and when to take the hat off and when to put the mixer hat on or when to put the writer hat on, and you know, and to kind of juggle the roles. So it was great to do it. You know, yet again, you know, with Her Chariot Awaits. I love it.
Oh yeah, and you know, it's great to see that side of you as well too, because I know a lot of people who do both sides when they're writing the music and they're also behind the board. There is that temptation to just make sure that your parts are going to be higher up in the mix than everybody else, and instead of working on the actual songs. But you make sure not to do that. You make sure to make the most important parts of the song really stick out and make sure everything flows together and make it the best sounding song it possibly can.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, I appreciate that, and it's just, you know, you learn that over time, and I've had my studio for, you know, 20 years here. I've done everything I've ever recorded and released here. So it's just kind of something you learn every day, and you keep learning. It's just like guitar playing. We all do. You know, it's the same with the recording and engineering and learning new tricks of the trade. And, you know, I just got a huge 60-channel Neve now from my Sonic Stomp Studios place, and I can't wait to set that up. It's, you know, again, just an ongoing passion of mine, being behind the console and knowing the song's more important. There's not one player that's more important in the song. It's how a listener can hear your song. That's what's most important.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, you gotta be able to have that trained ear to be able to hear that as well, too. And especially when you've been working on the craft the way that you have and spending decades upon decades being able to work on this, being able to be behind the board, being in front of the board, being able to see both sides and know how everything can be mixed and mastered and produced together. And, you know, it's just, again, the fact that you're able to keep learning, you're able to keep getting new equipment, being able to keep up with the times. I mean, the fact that you just got a 60-channel board, I mean, that's going to be so cool to be able to see what you can do with that thing.
Yeah, the Neve that's a piece of recording history. I'm so excited about that. You know, I've always had, you know, big consoles and all the big stuff, but a Neve is like, you know, getting for me, it's, you know, the Ferrari of the cars, or whatever, you know, whatever your favorite car is. I mean, Neve is a recording studio's console dream, you know, dream console. So really excited about that. And yeah, it's just, you just keep evolving and keep learning every day, and just to be a better engineer all the time, as with any instrument and any profession you do. That's all.
Oh, very much so. And getting back into the band, obviously being able to write such amazing songs and being able to have that original style that's going on here with Her Chariot Awaits, it was really cool to see that you're keeping up with what I know you for a lot, especially when it comes to bands like Adrenaline Mob, is being able to throw in some really cool covers. And it was great to see that here with Katie Lang and Constant Craving. Like, how did it come together using that song?
Thanks, man. Yeah, I love that. I did it with Adrenaline Mob on our debut album, and I remember when I was, you know, telling the guys, yeah, I want to do a Duran Duran song, and they looked at me like I was freaking nuts. And then I played it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I get it, you know. And that was a great version with Lizzie Hale that we did of an old 80s song. Same thing with Katie Lang. It was just one of my favorite songs back in the day. I love that genre of pop songs, and I love to be able to take a song and just, you know, make it completely different. And Constant Craving this version is so dark and creepy and heavy, and Eileen did an incredible job at it. I had the song for a while. I remade it a couple of years ago, held on to it, and so it was real easy. As soon as I signed on to do something with a female, I knew it was going to work great. And of course, Eileen did an amazing job at it. So, I was super happy with the remake. But yeah, I love doing that.
Oh, it's so cool, and it does fit so natural with the album as well too. Like the first time that I listened to it, I didn't look at any of the liner notes or anything. I just wanted to be able to check out the album from start to finish. And when this came on, it wasn't until the chorus that I realized it was Constant Craving, and I just love the take on it. And just like you said, it's a very dark, heavy take on it. And it feels so natural.
Yeah, it definitely lent more to her what she did in the past. She just very, like I said, a majestic style of singing, and she just has a beautiful way of delivering, emotion, and that's what that song needed, because it's creepy, and at least our version, but in a great way. I mean that in a typo negative type of way, where it's just dark and twisted. So I think it fits great into the album, as did Just to Remember, which Just to Remember is more of a ballad, and there's an acoustic version on the album of it. But they all seem to meld. The 12 songs if you count the bonus, all seem to have this cohesive feel to them, which I was very happy with the outcome.
And I gotta imagine when you have such great songs that you were able to either hold on to for a couple years, like that Katy Lane cover, or the original music. I mean, I imagine it had to be really hard to decide what you wanted to release as a single.
Well, yeah, I mean, you always have a lot of when I wrote, I think when I sat down to write Men of Honor, for instance, of the Adrenaline Log, I think I wrote 23 songs. So I have so much material just sitting there in catalogs, because I used to do so much writing and writing and just catalog everything. So it's nice to look back and see, oh yeah, I have this. And Constant Craving was one of those songs where I knew I had, and I just was waiting for the right moment. So he kind of pulled it out of the hat, and here we go,
Yeah, and it always goes to show you that if you hold on to something, it doesn't mean that it's bad or it's not finished or anything. Sometimes it just doesn't fit with an album or a project at the time, but if you hold on to it, it can be perfect for something else.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many songs you can put on an album. I mean, if you're sitting there with 20 kicking songs, you still can only pick 10 or 11 of them. There's just no way around it. And as far as singles-wise, I don't get to pick the singles. The label picks the singles. But I was very happy with what they picked. Dead and Gone is a great introduction, and Take Me Higher is got a great feel to it. Constant Craving, of course, and hopefully now they put out, a lot more singles because of this day and age, which, unfortunate, what has happened in the world, that there's not going to be any touring or officially launching a band, to get your touring legs going anytime soon. So hopefully more come.
Yeah, that is a very unfortunate thing that's happening in the music world right now, is the constantly seeing tours getting canceled and festivals getting canceled and things getting pushed back. I mean, some of them are happening supposedly at the end of the year, but a lot of things getting pushed back to 2021. But that's why I'm so happy that this album is still getting a release here in May, is because I know there could have been that opportunity to delay the album until there could be more physical releases that could come out. But I think during these dark times, we need some good music to listen to, and that's why I appreciate that the album is still coming out now.
I agree. I definitely do. At first, I was worried about, because it was delayed already. It actually was supposed to come out April 10th, and then, of course, got pushed back. But yeah, you want to give people now more than ever, something to listen to, because concerts are gone for this year. I mean, I was on tour when it actually hit, and I had to fly home from Europe, so I know. And my bands have canceled months of touring, not just right now. We all had stuff set for summer and then fall and winter, and my God. So now more than ever, yeah, I think people need to hear some new music. So I'm happy it's coming out.
Yeah, and that's another great thing about the day and age that we live in right now, is you're able to put something together like her Chariot Awaits, where you don't all have to be in the same studio at the same time. You're able to send files to each other and being able to work with each other that way. That way you can still put out some great music. And I hope that does happen during this time, that a lot of the ideas that you might not have been able to work on because of touring, that you might be able to continue working on and be able to create some great music out of this time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm finishing up a new album right now for Frontiers that I'm so excited about. Fortunately, with her Chariot Awaits, we did get to all do it here in Sonic Stomp Studios. Eileen flew here for 3 weeks, when we were all done with pre-production and did all the tracks, and then Jeff came in, and so it was great to really be together tracking and stuff. But fast forward in these times, I'm doing it right now with another band of mine, which is coming out on Frontiers. I don't know when yet, and we have to do that. We have to send files. We don't have a choice. It's just it's the way it is right now.
Oh yeah, and with that, I mean, I'm glad to see that there is like a 2-band deal going on here with Frontiers. I mean, they have such an amazing resume of so many great artists and bands and projects that are part of the label, and I'm glad to see that you're able to do something like Chariot Awaits and whatever this next endeavor is going to be. I mean, it's going to be cool to see that.
It's a band I'm super excited about it. It's the second band I'll be doing on Frontiers. It's called Black in the Sky, and it's got some amazing players involved. Myself, and then Achilles Priester, one of the greatest drummers out there, and the vocalist is just off the freaking charts here, Andrew Freeman. Andrew Freeman is from Last in Line, and he has one of the greatest voices out there, period. There's Junior Corelli on keyboards, ex-Nocturnal, which is a band I'm in now, based out of Brazil. So those are the members. They're amazing players, Achilles, Andrew, and Junior. And it's called Black in the Sky, and I'm actually mixing it right now for the label.
That is incredible. I mean, that sounds like such an incredible lineup. I can't wait until like everything comes together with that. I mean, just the way that you described that already, it just sounds like it's going to be such a killer album.
It's killer, man. I'm so excited. It's real heavy. This is totally different, and I've never done anything like this. It's more of a symphonic metal, just a lot of playing going on, but huge vocal hooks. Andrew's just knocking it out of the park. And Achilles Priester, if you don't know Achilles, my God, just Google him. He's one of the most amazing drummers out there. But Achilles goes way back. I was in Nocturnal with him, which is my band now, for a while. And Achilles is in Wasp now. He's in Dragon Force, and he was in Angra. Angra was a huge South American band where Kiko Loureiro came from, who is now in Megadeth. So Achilles has an incredible history and resume, and I couldn't be more excited.
Oh yeah, he really is one of the best drummers out there, and it's so cool to see like this conglomeration of everything that's going on and being able to such great talents, a part of both of these projects that you got going on right now with Frontiers, and being able to show different sides of what you can do, and then hopefully once everything gets back to normal, being able to go back out there, do the touring, being able to promote yourself with all of the other bands and projects and endeavors you got going on, and just it's so inspiring to see that you can hit so many different styles of your playing. It's really cool to see that.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm fortunate and very thankful to be able to do that, and I love doing different stuff, and I love the really excited about the Her Chariot Awaits, and of course Black in the Sky, and I play in Nocturnal, and I also have a new album coming out with Corey Glover at some point of Living Color, which is by far one of the greatest vocalists ever. I'm going to say ever, and just leave that there. So, man, I'm thankful and very grateful to be working and doing what I do and being on Frontiers. These guys are great label.
Oh, that's incredible. And yeah, just thinking about that again, I mean, you have worked with some of the best musicians, past, present, and future, in so many different kinds of styles of rock and metal. And, just having that inspiration of being able to work with these people, whether it be guest appearances, being on the tour bus together, sharing the stage together, recording with them. I mean, it's so inspiring to see that you can work with all these different kinds of people, show off that style. I mean, when you work with people like that, I mean, how much is it inspiration for you that you can take back from working with these people?
Oh man, it's incredible. It's always an honor to play with great musicians and learn from them, and of course one being the incredible Mike Portnoy, which we just got to do a new track on Nocturnal with Mike. Mike is guested on that single. It's a single called Scream for Me from my band Nocturnal, and the album will come out next year. But we also just did a big tour with Mike, a Nocturnal tour featuring special guest, Mike Portnoy and Edu Falashi of Angra. So we went out for a month, and it was so great to be back out with Mike and playing Adrenaline Mob songs. And we did a bunch of Dream Theater songs, and learning from Mike. Mike is the master of doing multiple things and doing different styles of music, and that's really where I learned to do it from, and watched him in awe. And it's a great thing. He does so many different bands, but they're really different. That's the one thing I took from that. When you learn from something, you okay, great. So I have 4 or 5 bands right now that are completely different in sound, which is you learn from the best. I learned that from Mike.
Oh, that's so incredible. And yeah, I've gotten to interview Mike a few times, and every time I talk to him, he's always talking about all the different projects that he's a part of. And every time I ask about it, he's always got like 2 or 3 secret lineups that he can't talk about yet. And it's always so cool to see when you are a musician and you're not just stuck to playing one style. I mean, obviously there's some people who love doing that, but when you're able to spread your wings and being able to show off that you can do hard rock and heavy metal and symphonic metal and instrumental music, and being able to do all these different things that you have a passion for or a new passion for, it just makes you a better musician trying all these different things for creativity and inspiration.
100%, man. I couldn't agree with you more. I'm really grateful to be able to do so many different styles, from Adrenaline Mob to Her Chariot Awaits to Sonic Stomp, which is all instrumental, to playing with Corey Glover, to Black in the Sky now with Andrew Freeman and Achilles Priester. I mean, and all different styles of music. So I couldn't be more happy about that.
Oh, absolutely. And I think with that, that's an amazing note to end on. And again, thank you so very much for taking the time to be able to talk to me about everything that you got going on in your world right now. I mean, some things I had absolutely no idea were going on, and just got me so excited to be able to look forward to. And of course, the debut album, the self-titled debut album from Her Chariot Away, it's coming out May 22nd through Frontiers Music. I really enjoy what's going on with this album. I can't wait to see where all of these projects go in the future as well. And again, I just appreciate you taking the time to be able to talk to me about all of it.
Oh man, it was an absolute pleasure, and thank you for checking out the album, Her Chariot Awaits. I and myself and the band members are excited for it to come out, and we hope everyone enjoys it. Like you said, May 22nd, Frontiers Records, Her Chariot Awaits. I hope everyone checks it out, and I hope you guys dig it. And thank you again for having me, man.